Hi, everybody. I'm John Figarelli. I'm the founder of the National Fitness Hall of Fame. Each year, we honor special individuals who have dedicated their careers and lives to helping others get fit and stay healthy. This is the pinnacle award in the fitness industry. It's the culmination of a career spent helping others. This year, we have a special inductee, Dr. Ben Bocchicchio, and I'm going to bring up a 2012 National Fitness Hall of Fame inductee himself. He was the chairman of the board in 2014 to 2017. He's a great friend of the hall. I bring up Mr. Bill Crawford.
It's a real pleasure to be here and to share in this moment with a fellow fitness trainer who I've known for quite some time. My wife Debbie and I traveled a long way to get here today, about 100 feet. Our gym is just to the west of this facility, and we've been there for about 20 years or so. But this, as it's been mentioned, this is the pinnacle accolade for people that have spent their lives in this industry. And Ben, if you were like me, we probably had a shared experience. When we first got into this industry, people said we were crazy. Our friends and family would say, get a real job. There's no future in this. The medical community had not yet embraced this. They said, you're going to wear your joints out, the muscles are going to turn into fat, it's bad for your heart. Remember all that stuff? And we fought, and Ben, you really led the charge on a lot of this stuff with your research and development. Ben is really famous and well known in the industry for super slow. And how many people know who Arthur Jones was? He was the inventor of Nautilus. And years ago, he had developed a way to test muscles to see how strong they were. He determined that the best way to test a muscle to see how strong it was to eliminate impact force, eliminate inertia, movement. If you could do an isometric contraction against an immovable force and measure that, you'd find out how strong that muscle was. So he was doing the testing. And he had a strain gauge hooked up to a computer, and it would measure the force throughout the range of motion in different segments in foot-pounds. So Ben became aware of this, and he noticed that the strongest point that muscle achieved in these sessions was during these isometric contractions, and his wheels started to turn. Am I getting this right? And he goes, how can we turn that into a proficient, efficient form of exercise? And so he came up with super slow. And you guys have all done super slow. You know it hurts like hell, it's painful, and you hate it, but you'll love the results. And the other great thing about super slow, we all know that it takes impact force to produce an injury. You can't have an injury in super slow because the impact force is not there. So it's a safe and effective way. So I wanted to make sure that people knew that this is the guy. There's other people out there that have tried to take credit for it, but the insiders in the industry, Jim Flanagan, Arthur Jones, who's not around anymore, they would all attest to the fact that this was Dr. Ben's brainchild. So Ben's been in the Valley for a long time. I came here in 1996, and somebody wanted to do an article on me, and it was published, and I'm opening it up and I'm reading, and I go, well, who's this guy? I shared the article with Dr. Ben. And so that's how we first became acquainted with one another. We were in the same publication together. And since then, we found that we've had mutual friends all over the country with Nautilus, the guy that has Tom Campanaro, he should be here tonight, the guy that owns Total Gym, who was one of the moving forces trying to get you inducted into the Hall of Fame. But Ben, it's well deserved, it really is. You've spent a lifetime helping people. The testimonials in here tonight from your clients that have been with you, and we all know that we forge relationships when we train people. And if he wasn't a good guy, you wouldn't have stuck with him for 20 years. And you're obviously getting mutual benefit out of these relationships. And it's just awesome. It's just great. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite you up to the podium, Dr. Ben. And I would like to present you and welcome you
Thanks, Billy.
as
Thank
a
you very much.
inductee into the National Fitness Hall of Fame.
For the mic now.
interesting kind of background, and a lot of you people know about it. I basically found out about resistance training, and I had a weight that I should have kept it in here. In my basement, when we moved to Staten Island, I was 4 years old, there was a set of weights, and they were kind of old and whatever, and I was fascinated by those things. In fact, I have one which I'm going to donate to the Fitness Hall of Fame. And my family history has been, I had an uncle who was the manager and trainer of Jersey Joe Walcott and Uncle Felix. My Uncle Vic played football at Fordham with the 7 blocks of granite, Vince Lombardi. My Uncle Tony was the one who actually trained with Charles Atlas. He asked me when I was a little bit older in my 20s, he says, "You ever hear of Angelo Siciliano?" I said, "No." He says, "That's Charlie Atlas. That was my training partner." And he said, "You know those weights you have down in your basement? I gave them to your father for the fireman's test, and those are the weights that Charles and I had a guy make us." He said it cost, like the set cost like $8 or something, whatever, some crazy number back then when in the 40s. Anyway, so I was always interested in this stuff, and I was a pretty fair athlete, and I was always fascinated with the training. So I went to study phys ed. I made Cornell because my brother was a Cornell graduate as a math major, but I went to Ithaca College in the same town and got my degree in phys ed and health and science. And my aspirations were not to have a boss, to have a good place to work out, and basically that's when I started my first Nautilus Center. And as Bill recalled, I met Arthur Jones, and I have to give him a lot of credit because he gave me the opportunity to see this new kind of system and machinery, which some of you guys have tried today for the first time, and I was fascinated. And so the development, I have to just correct one thing. It's not, Super Slow is a trademark from Ken Hutchins, so I don't use that term, but how that trademark came about, Kenny was a young kid in college, would call me and ask me what I was doing. I said, "We're doing slow training," and Arthur Jones sent all kinds of people. I must have helped people open 100 facilities with Nautilus equipment. So Arthur would send everybody to me, and I'm now in my 20s, 24, 25, 26, and I was the guru. Excuse me. In fact, one of the New York newspapers, I think I was 25 years old, said, "Dr. Ben Bocchicchio," oh no, I wasn't doctor then, hadn't completed my PhD. Ben Bocchicchio is the fitness guru of the new era, and I was 25. So when people see me now, they say, "Was that your father?" It was 1974, 1973, and I have some articles up here. It was very interesting. We were looking at them last night. In the early 80s and late 70s, I was basically saying the same stuff that I'm saying now that has now become acceptable health practice, medicine, exercise practice. So, and I just stuck to my guns, kind of like Billy said. My mother said to me, "What are you gonna make a living? People are gonna come and you're gonna teach them how to exercise?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna try it." And I was very fortunate. More than anything, I was fortunate to have developed a really good set of business opportunities, and I've lived the life that I'm so grateful that I can do what I love to do, and some people want to listen to me talk, and so that's gratifying, So it's been a great ride, and it got a lot of recognition from people, and every day I get letters and emails, "Thank you, you changed my life," and this and that, and that's really gratifying. But I still, like Bill said, I still like to do it every time I do it, and I've done it thousands, tens of thousands of times, and we're getting benefit, and now I'm getting appreciated more. I basically was going to come out here and just consult in '92. Then I found this place that JB was talking about and Chucky were talking about, and I said, let me just train some people, stay off the streets. And I think I was there 6 weeks. I had my calendar was full of people. And then I was going to, with the thing with the low carb, I have a family here in Scottsdale, my people from the gym, including Barry and Colleen who aren't here tonight, and all my trainees and people, some of them with me almost 30 years. And so we're like a family. So that's my second family. And then about 4 years ago, I got introduced to the low carb people, and they're my San Diego family. Leo and Brian, Doug and Pam, and there's a bunch of other good people there. And I never went to conferences. I thought they were just political or whatever, selling something. But these people are bona fide truth seekers and trying to change the whole health status. They're doing a lot of good work, changing the actual methodology that doctors are allowed now, at least, to use with low-carb diets or controlled carb diets and this high-intensity exercise. So it's really I kind of stepped into this. I mean, more fortune than anything. Is it? No brilliance here. Just a matter of studying, understanding, enjoying, and presenting this stuff. So I appreciate everybody coming today. Everybody here is a really dear friend of mine. They're like family, and I appreciate getting into this Hall of Fame. I didn't know about the Hall of Fame until maybe 7-8 years ago when Tom Campanaro introduced me, the Total Gym guy. And there's a great group of guys, and we've got some pictures and showed all the different, Schwarzenegger's in there, Jack LaLanne's in there, and there's a lot of big name people. And as a kid, I would never have thought I was going to be in that deal. So it's kind of fun. I'm glad to have you here, and I thank you to help me continue in this. As I get older and older, it becomes more and more fun. So I might as well keep it up for a few years, and maybe I'll get Dewey to be 100, and that in itself would be an accomplishment. All right, anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody coming.